In 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. But what did he really discover, and at what cost? Today we explore the legacy of Christopher Columbus, a figure celebrated by some and condemned by others. Was he a pioneering explorer who changed the world, or a ruthless colonizer whose actions set the stage for centuries of exploitation and suffering? Join us as we dive deep into the life and legacy of one of history's most controversial figures. Christopher Columbus, born in Genoa in 1451, was captivated by the sea from a young age. In the 15th century, European powers were eager to find new trade routes to the east. Columbus believed that by sailing west he could reach Asia. Despite facing rejection from multiple courts, he found a sponsor in the Spanish monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella. In 1492, Columbus set sail with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta and the Santa Maria. After weeks at sea, on October 12, 1492, Columbus and his crew sighted land. He had arrived in the Bahamas, marking the beginning of Europe's engagement with the Americas. Over 4 voyages, Columbus explored the Caribbean and parts of Central and South America. His journeys forever changed the world, establishing new trade routes and initiating an era of European exploration and colonization. However, Columbus's legacy is not without its shadows. The lands he encountered were already home to millions of indigenous people, and his arrival marked the beginning of their suffering. Columbus's expeditions were not just about exploration, they were also about conquest. In the territories he claimed for Spain, indigenous populations were subjected to brutal treatment. Forced labor systems like the encomienda were implemented where native people were enslaved to work for the Spanish settlers. The arrival of Europeans also brought diseases such as smallpox, which decimated native populations. Columbus's governance in the New World was marked by reports of cruelty and mismanagement. Some historians argue that Columbus laid the groundwork for the transatlantic slave trade. In the centuries that followed, Columbus was celebrated as a hero, a visionary who discovered the New World. Monuments were erected in his honor, and a national holiday, Columbus Day, was established in the United States. But not everyone sees Columbus as a hero. Critics argue that Columbus is a symbol of imperialism and genocide. They point to the atrocities committed under his watch and question whether he should be celebrated at all. Some advocate for the removal of Columbus statues and the replacement of Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day, a shift that recognizes the suffering of native populations and honors their resilience. This debate reflects broader questions about how we remember history and who gets to be remembered as a hero. Today, we are re-evaluating how we understand and teach history. Columbus's story is not just about discovery, it's also a story of conquest, cultural clash, and the consequences of European expansion. As we continue to uncover the full scope of his impact, it's important to engage with history in all its complexity. Columbus was neither entirely a hero nor wholly a villain. His actions, like those of many historical figures, had far-reaching and often devastating consequences. The controversy surrounding Columbus reminds us that history is not static. It evolves as we gain new perspectives and as society's values shift. The story of Columbus is a mirror, reflecting the values, ambitions and moral questions of his time and of ours. As we look back on the legacy of Christopher Columbus, we must do so with a critical eye. We must recognize both the achievements and the atrocities, the discoveries and the destructions. Columbus's legacy is not just a matter of the past. It's a story that continues to shape our present and our future.